May 28th. Anthropic ships Opus 4.8, opens 1,000 agent swarms in Claude Code, and closes a $65 billion Series H in the same 24-hour window. $965 billion. That is Anthropic's post-money valuation. OpenAI was at $852 billion in March. OpenAI held the top spot for months. Anthropic just took it. For the first time, the safety-focused lab with the slower release cadence is the most valuable private AI company on Earth. But Anthropic did not get here by winning on model quality alone. They got here because the Opus Fast tier was priced wrong for production pipelines, and they fixed it on the same day they claimed the top valuation spot. $47 billion in annualized run rate. 3 months ago, the valuation was $380 billion. The compounding here is not a rounding error. Dynamic workflows is the feature nobody was asking for until they hit the wall. Claude Code can now spawn up to 1,000 parallel subagents inside a single session. One orchestrator. Hundreds of workers. Each subagent gets a slice of the problem, executes, reports back. Opus 4.8 verifies the outputs before surfacing results. That last part is the part that matters. 4 times less likely to miss code flaws versus the prior version. That is not a benchmark toy number. A bug caught by the model is a bug that does not reach code review. Michael Truel, CEO of Cursor, has been running Opus 4.8 against their production eval stack. Tool calling is meaningfully more efficient, using fewer steps for the same intelligence. In agentic pipelines, every unnecessary tool call is latency you pay for twice. Hanlon Tang, CTO at Neural Networks, ran their production agentic cost numbers against the new model. But 61% cheaper per token in their production stack is a number that rewrites budget conversations. The fast tier cost dropped by a factor of 3. Same 2.5 times speed. Same API endpoint. The only thing that changed is the number that was stopping you from running Opus in production. Standard mode, $5 per million input tokens, 25 output. Fast mode doubles the nominal cost, but triples throughput. For async workloads, the math clearly favors fast mode. There was a platform team in Q1 2026 that built their entire agentic refactor pipeline on Sonnet. Fast. Cheap. Wrong about 12% of the time on large code bases, and they called that acceptable. They switched to Opus for 2 weeks. Error rate dropped to under 3%. Monthly inference bill tripled. They switched back to Sonnet, filed it under technical debt, moved on, and that 3 times cost gap was not an oversight. It was the architectural reality of running a flagship model at pipeline volume. Anthropic just changed the denominator. This is the line every inference economics argument eventually crosses. The cost fell to where the quality math now clearly favors the flagship model for production agentic work. 41 days between Opus 4.7 and 4.8. Anthropic has historically been the slow shipper. Something changed in the compute allocation. Dynamic workflows is in research preview, enterprise, team, and max plans only. If you are building on a smaller plan, you are reading about a feature you cannot run yet, and that 1,000 agent cap is a hard ceiling. For most agentic coding tasks, that is enough. For code-based migrations across tens of millions of lines, it is the next wall you will hit. Brad Gerstner at Altimeter co-led the Series H. His read on what the $965 billion bet is actually buying. Most demanding organizations. The capital is flowing toward enterprise, not individual developers. The $965 billion bet is on Claude in the Fortune 500, not Claude in your terminal. $965 billion is not a valuation you maintain by staying private. TechCrunch called it directly. This may be Anthropic's final private fundraise before an IPO. Anthropic's stated use of funds: safety research, compute, and partnerships. In that order. But $65 billion buys a lot of GPU time and very little interpretability at current research costs. Production ready. That is the verdict. But narrower than the announcement implies. The 3 times cost drop is real. and it changes your Q1 math today. 4 moves before end of week. The price changed. The cost model you built in Q1 is wrong now, which means the architectural decision you made in January, Sonnet, because Opus costs too much, is worth revisiting this week. The migration is one line. Model ID, Claude Opus 4.8. Same API. Same price as 4.7. Available day 1 on Bedrock, Vertex, and Microsoft Foundry. You swapped down to Sonnet because Opus costs too much. Tell me in the comments whether the 3 times price drop actually changes your pipeline decision or whether Sonnet already closed the quality gap for your use case.